Unfortunately, marriage and relationships are becoming another luxury item. Marriage and pairing off with a mate is plummeting among people. It's correlated to your wealth because middle income and poor people, especially men, are no longer, because of online dating, are no longer seen as viable mates. And they also don't have as many opportunities to meet people in person where there's things like smell and vibe and humor that are some of the magic and mystery of why we're attracted to each other.
지금 우리는 0.78%의 출산율이라는 극단적인 인구절벽의 상황 속에 살고 있습니다. 이러한 극단적인 사회 문제의 원인이 쉽게 바꿀 수 있는 단순한 몇 가지 이유 때문이지는 않을 것입니다. 경제적 이유, 사회 문화의 변화, 치열한 사회 경쟁 구조 등이 주요 문제점으로 지적되고 있지만 마땅히 해결할 솔루션을 찾기는 어렵습니다. 이러한 저출산 문제는 한국뿐만이 아니라 전 세계적으로 발생하고 있으며 특히 우리나라처럼 경제적으로 발전했고 우수한 인프라가 갖추어진 국가에서 두드러지게 나타나고 있습니다. 거대한 가속, 어드래프트의 저자이며 세계에 가장 큰 영향을 미친 40대 이하 인물 100인에 선정되기도 한 뉴욕대 경제학과 교수 스콧 갤러웨이는 이런 사회 문제의 근본적인 이유는 인터넷 기술의 발전에서 파생되어진 인간적 관계 형성의 단절이라고 주장합니다.
Mammals are social. We're very social. I mean, we're meant to be around each other. And the percentage of people who speak to their neighbors is off like 40%. We're becoming more and more segregated by income class. The number of kids who see their friends every day has been cut in half in the last 10 years. So we're just not touching, smelling, and feeling each other nearly as much. And I think that's directly correlated to happiness. Our socialization appears to have taken a dramatic step change, structural step change down. And I even see it in my kids. They are thinking about getting home to their phones, and they're social on their phones, but it's not a replacement for person-to-person contact. So being alone is one of the worst things on an extended basis that can happen to a human. And every day, one of the worst things that can happen to a human is happening more and more to all of us in Western society. And it's especially prevalent among kids. The lack of socialization and then this kind of hyper socialization that takes place on their phone, which is really brutal and has huge externalities, is, I think, one of the biggest causes for the massive uptick in depression among young people.
인터넷 기술의 발전과 그 속에서 태어난 수많은 서비스들이 우리에게 인류 역사상 그 어떤 세대보다 더 넓은 인간사이의 연결을 가능하게 하였고 내 방 침대 위에서 쉽고 편하게 새로운 관계, 새로운 기회를 가질 수 있게 하였습니다. 하지만 저자는 가속화되고 있는 인터넷 시장과 소셜 서비스의 발전이 젊은 세대들의 이성관계 형성에 어떤 영향을 미치고 있는지 이렇게 설명합니다.
So the majority of relationships are beginning online for people your age. And it's very efficient. But what happens when technology comes into any sector is it consolidates it. It becomes a winner-take-most market. So technology has come into mating with dating apps. And it's created a winner-take-all or winner-take-most dynamic, which is somewhat unhealthy. And it plays out like something like this. Women are interested in men based on three criteria. The first is their ability to signal resources. The second is intelligence. And the third is kindness. And unfortunately online, it's very difficult to signal 2 and 3. And when everyone has access to everyone, women who have a much finer filter for mating, because the downside of sex is so much greater for them if they get pregnant, so they have a much finer filter. They end up all being drawn or expressing interest to a much smaller group of individuals. So what the dynamic is, you have 50 men on Tinder, 50 women on Tinder. 46 of the women will express all of their interest to just 4 men, which leaves 46 men vying for the attention of just 4 women. So if you apply the Gini coefficient to online dating, it's got the same Gini coefficient as income inequality in Venezuela. So mating inequality is greater than income inequality in Venezuela. And what it leads to is what I call Porsche polygamy. And that is the men who are the top 10% in terms of attractiveness online get 90% of the interest. So that does not lead to good behavior or establishing long-term relationships. Kind of 50 to 90 percentile do okay, but the bottom half of attractiveness of men based on online attractiveness are totally shut out of the market. And as a result, in America, 1 in 3 males under the age of 30 has not had sex in the last 12 months. And I find people hear the term sex and their mind goes different places. I think of it as the key step to an elemental foundation of any society, and that is relationship. So in the US, what's happened with online dating, if your Tinder profile, I went to MIT, I just started at KKR, and my Rolex accidentally is visible in my profile picture, and I'm geolocated living in Manhattan or living in Beverly Hills, you're gonna get a massive amount of attention. The bottom half, who are not able to express anything other than wealth, which they may not have, are totally shut out of the market. And the knock-on effect here is that we're producing too many of what is the most dangerous person in the world, and that is a young, broken, alone man. So we are producing an enormous cohort of economically and emotionally non-viable men. And I think it's bad for society. I think it creates an existential risk for us. They start blaming other people. Specifically, they start blaming women, and they become much more prone to misogynistic content. They start believing in conspiracy theory. They're less likely to believe in climate change. And some, they become just really shitty citizens.
현대사회가 만들어내고 있는 이 망가지고 외로운 남자들이 점점 많아지면서 결과적으로 여성들에게도 좋은 파트너 또는 배우자를 만나기 더 어렵게 만드는 악순환을 생성하고 있다고 저자는 말하고 있습니다. 더불어 극단적 페미니스트들이 남성 혐오를 조장하고 그것을 정치적 메시지로 만들어 퍼뜨리고 있을 때 이 망가지고 외로운 남자들은 그 반대편에 서서 여성 혐오와 더 나아가 극단적인 남성 우월주의를 신봉하고 추정하고 있다고 말합니다. 그리고 이러한 양극단의 외침들이 사회를 더욱 혼란스럽게 만들고 정치권까지 이런 현상에 편승하여 세상을 비참하고 우울하게 만들고 있다고 호소하고 있습니다. (2023년) 현재 총 GDP 세계 10위, 1인당 총 소득 순위 OECD 18위, 충분히 행복하고 안정적인 삶을 살 수 있을 것이라 생각되는 한국이지만 지금 우리는 남성들은 여자친구를 만들기 무섭다거나 경제적으로 부담이 된다라고 말하고 여성들은 주위에 괜찮은 남자가 없다고 말하는 세상에 살고 있습니다. 분명 개인의 삶의 질과 선택의 자유는 중요합니다. 하지만 국가의 붕괴를 이야기할 정도의 극단적인 현상이 나타나는 사회는 분명히 심각하게 병들어 있다고 보는 것이 타당하다고 생각이 듭니다.